Yo, what's up? This is Mr. McGee, aka Boopy, aka Born Rich, and you are listening to the Born Rich Club podcast. Make sure you go over to YouTube and support us on the YouTube platform. Just search Born Rich Club podcast, give us a like, share, and don't forget to subscribe. And guys, without further ado, enjoy.
Hey, yo, what's up, man? It's your boy Lonnell Mathews, Mr. 18 Pockets.
And yo, what's up? It's your boy Mr. McGee, aka Boopy, aka Born Rich, and Lano.
What's up?
We in the building, baby.
Yeah, I know. I gotta be a little professional. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I gotta be a professional.
Be more astute with the guests we got
most
today,
definitely,
man. But, today we got a great show for you guys, man. We got our brother, Lonnell Mathews, man. I've been knowing this brother for a long time, man.
Most definitely.
Always been an inspiration to me. He's been influential to me. He's been doing great things for the city, man. And you couldn't. I was with this brother on the come up, what we would call the come up.
Yeah,
man,
most definitely.
Man, I was looking in my archives, and the first time that I sat down and interviewed this brother was like 10 years ago.
Oh, no. That's a minute, though.
10 years
And that's
ago,
good.
brother.
And look at the journey, right?
Yeah.
Look at both journeys.
10 years ago,
Most
man. So
definitely.
this is something that I've done. This is probably the fourth or fifth time I've sit down with my good brother. Today, family, we got our brother Lonnell Mathews in the
Yes.
building.
You
Man,
get
what's
a-
good? What's good? What's good? I feel like I should come in. What up? This Lonnell Mathews,
All the
Northside
time.
Low. What
Yeah,
up?
all the
There
time.
you go.
All
Y'all,
the
y'all
time.
came, y'all
Low.
came in hot. Y'all came in with the energy.
That's the energy we need,
Oh,
man.
yeah,
'Cause,
most definitely.
I know Nashville knows you as Lonnell Mathews, but this is my big brother Low. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And if y'all and if you guys really mess with the show and follow the show, we've had numerous guests up here to introduce this brother. They've
Yes.
mentioned his name. You've heard his name before. And we're gonna definitely get off into all of that. But where I want to start at,
Most
Lonnell,
definitely
is-
famous.
where I want to start at is growing up, brother. So, are you Nashville born and raised?
I'm born and raised in Nashville, North Nashville. Grew
Okay.
up between 11th and 12th on Cecilia Avenue.
Okay.
Parents moved to Bordeaux when I was 13, and I went to TSU, so I lived all over the city, Bellevue, Donaldson, while I was in college, Antioch, and moved back to Bellevue, and that's where I raised my family
you
now.
diverse.
Born and bred.
Yeah, you diverse. You can go in.
Diverse, with
you can go in any room.
with a hint of wealth. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? I'm hearing wealth. He said,
Yeah.
grew
Brentwood.
up, what you say, Cecilia,
Cecilia, 11th and 12th Avenue North.
11 and 12 Avenue North. Moved there and went to Wello.
Bordeaux.
Yeah, that's
Bordeaux.
Yeah.
money. Yeah, I mean, that's
Back
upgrade.
then, Black
I don't know about
Bordeaux
that.
was like the Black Beverly Hills, baby.
right.
Yeah,
Right.
most
Yeah.
definitely.
Just go
Yeah,
across
yeah.
the river, you know what I'm saying? Cross the bridge.
And I like that, man.
He said North Side, though.
Yeah, I like that. So, Lo, like, what was it like, though, just being Lonnell Mathews, growing up, like you said, North Nashville, moving to Bordeaux, man? What was your childhood like, brother?
Man, it was, I mean, we were just talking about it before we actually started recording, but, man, we used to be the latchkey kids, you know, parents working jobs in the summer. We trying to sneak out of, they like, don't go out of the house till I get home.
Yeah.
Man, we out of the house playing football, basketball in
Most
the street,
Yeah.
trying not to get caught, you know, making sure the neighbors ain't telling on us, calling the mom.
I'm trying to hoop and watch the street.
Go back
Make sure-
inside like ain't nothing happening. We ain't took no shower, nothing sweaty, stinking. They come home, we like, man, gotta get in the house. Y'all go home, man. Come back over in about 30 minutes.
Yeah,
Keep it
for
going.
sure.
Yeah.
But man, you know, man, I remember going to Jones Super Saver. That was a grocery store, Gus's Market. My mom used to send me up there, get her some bologna, hot sauce.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, bring it back. I mean, that's what it was, man. My mom, she was a waitress. She went home with my father. They met at Austin P in college.
Okay.
In Clarksville.
I
My
ain't know
mom's
the
from
history.
Gallatin. My dad's from Nashville. He went to North High before
Yeah,
they
there
tore
you
it
go.
down.
There
You
you
know, the pre-Whites Creek.
Yeah.
And they met in college.
Damn,
but
I ain't know that.
when my mom got pregnant, you know, she dropped out of college and she was like, I'm gonna raise him. My dad got to finish school. My dad was I don't even know what my dad's major was, honestly, man. So he did like statistical work for the Department of Health for the state of Tennessee.
Okay.
For all of his career, he had like a darn near 50-year career
Mm.
working for the state of Tennessee. He retired a couple years ago, but my parents, they were hardworking. My father always had a couple jobs, couple hustles. He refereed basketball.
Sure did. I remember that.
Man, all kind of stuff, man. He used to deliver newspapers. I remember he used to get me up at like 4 in the morning and go deliver the Tennessean sometimes.
Damn.
And I'd be on this route like, man, this is what you be doing.
Yeah.
He'd be like, throw that paper out the window,
Gave you
man.
some appreciation, though, didn't it?
It did, man.
Yeah.
Like, I grew up with a certain work ethic. Anything that I tried to do, I tried to put my heart into it, try to make sure that I gave it my all, even if I wasn't good at it. You know, I know that hard work could pay off, and eventually that could make sure that the outcome that I wanted to get, I could eventually reach that plateau of
That's
success.
what's up,
So,
man.
I like that, man.
But yeah, Nashville. I mean, high school was wild. MLK.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
MLK
yes,
wild.
Sir. Yes, sir.
Man, MLK ain't wild, man. Nah, MLK, nah,
So,
I'm playing.
I was a Sigma in high school, man. We got all over the place.
Yeah.
It wasn't just, the four walls you was in, whatever building. We was trying to kick with people at Whites Creek,
Nah, most definitely.
Maplewood, Pearl. We were all over the place. And, man, class of 97, like, I don't care what high school you graduated from, we all feel like family. We talk to each other. We see each other now. People see me be like, man, you went to Whites Creek. Nah, I was just there all the time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? When I probably wasn't supposed to be sometimes.
And you say class of 97?
Yeah, class of 97. That's when I graduated high school.
So now when you see people like that you went to school with, like all the way from to how's that like when you all get to see each other and you see them winning too though?
Yeah.
Because
man, that's ain't nothing like that. I was telling y'all last night I was at a gala for the National Museum of African American Music, and my homeboy Torrance Street Symphony Esmond was one of the honorees. And man, to see him get honored by the National Museum of African American Music in his hometown where he grew up in Parkwood.
Yes, sir.
And he's a Grammy Award winning, Dove Award winning producer. Multi-Grammy, multi-Dove Awards, not just one. Working with Nipsey Hussle, Meek Mill, Lecrae. Like, to see him get awarded like that and to be in the play, just be in the building and to get to witness it, that's just inspiration for me to go back and do what I got to do in my career field and what I'm doing, trying to motivate other people. And I remember just specifically for him, I got other homeboys that went on to med school, went to Meharry, they dentists now. I got homeboys that's just in the business world, they account managers, they work for companies like Coke and all these Fortune 500 companies. But I remember Torrance specifically, man, I was at Mardi Gras one year. I can't remember what year it was.
Okay, turn up. Yeah.
I was at Mardi Gras one year and Torrance wasn't there. He was like into the music at that point. He was really trying to make his come up. And he sent us a text, man. It was a video and it was a funny conversation we were having at Mardi Gras. It's like tailgate. Have you ever been to? Have you ever been to like a sports tailgate? Yeah. Mardi Gras is like a big tailgate all over the city of New Orleans, and so we walking around. We in somebody's yard. I don't know whose yard we in, but they cooking food and everybody's partying. It's a box wine parade going down the street. People walking down the street in a parade with box wine, just bringing over to people like, you want a drink, and pouring it in their mouth. I'm like, man, it's wild out here. And we get this text. So everybody's phone go off at the same time, all my homeboys, and we look at our phone, and it's a text from Street. And he, man, he was working with Lecrae at the time, and Lecrae had just won a Grammy for the song Messengers, and Street produced it. But Lecrae doing all like the interviews with the media. Yeah. So he couldn't even go to accept it. Street, man, ran down the aisle, was on stage. I mean, and I was like, shoot. He was like, I get the Grammy too. I produced the song. I was like, what? You just won a Grammy? That was his first one? I was like, man.
That's big.
It was funny because we were talking about the Grammys, talking about why Street wasn't there with it, and there was a chick there. And she was like, yeah, my friends out there, they partying at the Grammys. And we all like, man, our friends just won a Grammy. What you talking about?
That's big, though. Hell yeah, that's huge,
it's just
though.
Inspiration, man. Iron sharpen iron. You really get to lean on your friends, your people around you, your village, and hopefully they just make you a better person.
Yeah, most definitely. I believe in that shit.
And we definitely got to shout out Street Symphony, man. He'll be here soon. You know what I mean? I'm working the magic behind the scenes.
I know my boy pull up.
Just don't rap, bro, because you trying to get your rap.
We done.
Yeah. Give me one of them beats, man.
I used to rap in his studio in Parkwood. I'm done. Yeah, I'm past them days, brother. But yeah, man, and that's great that you grew up with powerful brothers like that, Lonnell. You came a long way from passing me the blunt in the back of your mama's
What?
house.
What? Yeah, what?
You just come a long way. So it's good to see y'all brothers excelling like that. So after high school, what was next after high school? You what college you go to, brother?
Man, so I went to TSU. I wanted to major in physical therapy. I wanted to get into like sports medicine and stuff.
Yeah.
Come from MLK, I thought that was gonna be easy. Science and engineering school. I'm like,
That's
you know,
what he
I took
thought.
all these little science classes. Man, I took college biology, and I was like, no way, am I gonna do this in college? College level biology was different.
It was way different, wasn't it?
And I was like, nah, I'm a math guy. I'm a numbers guy, and so I was like, I gotta switch my major. And I thought about it, and I got into accounting. And little did I know, you know, you think counting, you think business ledgers and balance sheets and all of this stuff, and it's all numbers. Man, accounting is like the English of math. Like, you got to be really good at reading. It's like all these terms and everything of how you use math and finance to basically keep whatever you're trying to account for afloat. And so, but I stuck with it because at TSU, it was accounting, and you kind of minored in business law, and I love the law side.
Most definitely.
You know,
yeah.
I had a professor, man, and he was telling us how like policies were being made at the state level with the legislature, and telling us how to look at state code and statute and how that applied to the law. And I kind of fell in love
You
with that
excelled
side
in that side, right?
But yeah, TSU was the spot, man. TSU, I was still young, wild. I did my stuff at TSU, but all in all, I wanted to graduate. Like, I went in, I was like, man, I gotta finish. I started this, especially given that my mom had dropped out of college. I felt like a pill. Like, man, she dropped out to have me, like, to start a family and to raise a family. Like, there's no way I could like let her make that sacrifice, and I don't do what I need to do and handle my business.
Was college a distraction, or can college be a distraction?
There are things in college that are distracting.
Yeah,
mainly women for guys.
Yeah, most
and
definitely.
I would say for women, guys are probably a distraction right back. But man, there are a lot of things that could really take you off your pivot in college, and whether it's parties, whether it's just kind of getting burnt out on certain things. I mean, you in control of your own schedule. Ain't nobody waking you up trying to tell you go to class. Like, you gotta set your alarm. You gotta get up. You gotta go to class.
They put that responsibility
you
on
to make the time to study.
Yeah.
You know, going to the library, studying for finals, studying for exams. Like, all of that, you have to kind of double down, and you have to find your way to focus. You have to find how can you kind of step back from it all, make sure you're doing what you do, but also set the time. Like, make sure that you're trying to plan for the time that you want to just kick it. Be young, because man, after college, responsibility is kind of adult.
Life will life, man.
Yeah. So would you say college age, or was it the young adulthood when you started managing Starlito?
So,
All-Star
man, it was kind of in between. So, so you know about Playaway Entertainment. Me and Street had started the label while we were in college called Playaway Entertainment. He was at MTSU for music production. I was doing my accounting thing, but I started taking some elective classes in music business at TSU. So I was learning the business side of things and learning how to do paperwork, contracts, and all of that. And Playaway was kind of just the introduction to, do we want to get into this music thing?
Yeah.
And so for Street, it was his major, so he had already made a decision, like, this is it for me. This is the path. I'm going down this path. And for me, it was like, man, I'm watching Master P. I'm watching Dame Dash. I'm watching all these Russell Simmons. I'm watching all these guys, like, on the executive side, like, making moves within the industry. And I just see an opportunity. I'm like, man, this is a huge opportunity. So we tried the label thing for a couple years, and my grades started to slip. Talking about distractions, I was like, man, I need to focus. I went to Street. I was like, I need to focus on school. I need to focus on getting out. And so I went ahead and stopped doing the label thing. Street kept on pushing forward with it. And man, I was happy to see like how serious he took it and where it eventually took him. Yeah. But in the midst of that, man, my brother and Farah and Jermaine, they were trying to do like this little group.
Yeah.
The Odd Couple, I think is what they called themselves. So they were rapping, they were recording songs. And, man, you know how my brother was. My brother, silly, hustling, but halfway trying to be serious. This dude called a meeting. Like, man, we're going to have a group meeting.
Yeah.
And he's staying in the dorm at TSU. I go up to the dorm room. He was like, hey, y'all, I don't think I'm going to rap no more. He called a meeting to tell us, like, he ain't rapping. So Jermaine sitting in there. Jermaine, like, perplexed. He's like, man, I don't know what this guy is not serious. So I'm walking after me. I'm like, all right, that was cool, man. Appreciate you calling this meeting. I'm out.
Yeah.
So I'm walking to my car, and Jermaine literally like runs behind me. It's in Washington Hall. I'm parked in front of Washington Hall. I remember it vividly. I had either Explorer or Tahoe. I can't remember which truck. It was an SUV. Man, I'm like, open my door. Jermaine come running out. Hey, man, I know what your brother just said, but I really want to do this rap thing. He was like, I know you ain't doing the label no more, but I want to know if you'll manage me. And, you know, I was taking like graduate classes, and I was still trying to find myself as, I was probably around 23, 24 at this time.
Yeah. So you still trying to.
I'm still like, man, trying to navigate. I'm still doing silly stuff. I'm not serious about life. But I don't have too many responsibilities, so I'm like, cool. I'm like, man, I gotta pay my rent, you know, pay my bills.
Yeah.
As long as I'm still able to go out, kick it, get some clothes, some fresh shoes, I'm good. So I was like, man, I looked at him. I was like, man, if you're gonna take it seriously, I'll do it. And man, he held up his end of the bargain. I mean,
most definitely did.
As soon as it wasn't like 2 days later, he had found a studio to record in. This before we started messing with Fate Eastwood. He had found some studio, and, man, he was basically sleeping in the studio, like trying to just put together a demo. And once we connected with Fate, man, it was really curtains at that point. We connected with Fate, and Fate just took it to a whole nother level because Jermaine started doing mixtapes at that point. And once we put out the mixtapes, he was doing a mixtape every 6 months. And we was out the trunk with it, getting it going. I don't even know the name of the print company. I need to look it up. It was off Gallatin Road, like in Rivergate almost. Man, we go print up about 1,000 CDs. Man, we'll put them in the little cases, and we out just slinging them and just putting them out. And it got better and better. Second CD, we actually printed like the cover of the CD in the case and made it look a little more professional. And then, shoot, by the fourth or fifth mixtape, it was really an album. He wasn't just jacking beats. He was doing over all original production and everything. And it was like, man, we ready. And by that time, Grey Goose had hit.
Yeah. Yo, you a manager though right this time though,
yeah,
right?
I'm managing, but
so your phone, but you seeing the increase, the buzz that.
Oh, it's wild how it's happening because we started. I mean, we doing little shows. At first, it was. Man, the first show we probably did, I think we paid to get on the show. We probably paid like $200, $250 to get on the show. Man, then we started doing little shows at little Murfreesboro, Clarksville.
Yeah.
Like we started hitting those more Dixon, Tennessee. Like it was crazy.
Who man was saying that? Like, was you telling Lito like, yo, we should hit these small towns right here to get this buzz, or was it Lito's?
Man, it was really just the buzz was growing.
Yeah.
Like, you know, man, Lito had, you know, we had Ed, we had people that was in his camp. They were hitting the streets hard, like just making sure people were bumping the music. You had people like Dolomite and Scooby on the radio that was willing to like throw it on the radio, but they were also the club DJs at the time, so they were out at Prism and all these clubs. And, man, they'll throw it on in the club if you know, hey, go ahead, play this 1 or 2 times for the night and get the crowd hype. And it just kind of built, the buzz just naturally built, but people would just, they would hear it and they would be attracted to it and they just wanted more. And so those little cities, little promoters, party promoters, they start calling us. They like, man, he got a little buzz. Let's pull him in. He could pull a crowd. He could put on a good show. And like I said, man, Grey Goose was a game changer. I remember, I remember the night Grey Goose was recorded. That was a wild night in itself. And it's a lot for me to be like, I remember these nights because usually we like drinking, we doing all kind of stuff we're not supposed to be doing. And but that night, I was sleeping in the studio. I don't know what I was doing. I probably had a long day. I just went to the studio. They in there recording. I'm on the couch. It's a couch. I'm just asleep. And I wake up, man. It's these two teenagers. Like, they in high school. They probably had dropped out. But they in there, man, and they like, I'm on that Grey Goose. Like, they in the corner. Like, just, they got the beat playing loud in the studio. They just in the corner like, man, we about to do this hook for Starlito. Man, I'm on that Grey Goose. Yeah. Like, going crazy. And I wake up and I'm like, man, what the hell is this? Like, what y'all doing?
Yeah.
Man, they record the song. Man, I heard Star had already recorded the verses. So Faye was just getting them to do the hook and was like finna punch the hook in. Man, I heard the songs like, man, that's a hit. That's gonna go. And so man, we was playing in the clubs. Jazzy Faye came to town for a show. Like, promoter brought him to town. He was doing like an appearance in Prism. And I think he had Jeezy, or he had Coach K, who was Jeezy's manager, in town with him. And, man, they played it. Dolomite played in the club. And Jazzy Faye was calling us like well, I take that back. It was Coach K calling us. Okay. And this Coach K before quality control. Right?
Most definitely.
But it's Coach K calling us, and we think he represented Jazzy Faye. So he's like, man, I want to talk to y'all about Starlito, about a deal. And we like, man, Jazzy Faye want to sign Star. That's what we think. Like, we like, man, we gonna, man, Jazzy Faye, a hot producer. He's doing the Sierra joints. He's doing something with Missy Elliott. We like, man, this
Jazzy Faye, most definitely
it.
huge
Right
at
here,
this
this
time,
could
right?
be it, right? But we also had a homeboy, Peanut, at TSU. His cousin was Yo Gotti. And so Peanut was like, man, I let Yo Gotti hear mixtape, man. Yo want to talk to your boy. And so we like, all right, cool. We gonna see what everybody talking about. Man, I don't know if I ever told this story. Like,
here we go,
this
exclusive.
type of setting. And I don't know that I'm gonna tell all the story, but I'm gonna tell part of it is really Jermaine's story to tell. But I'm gonna give my perspective.
Yeah,
so,
most definitely.
We basically had a bidding war going on. Like, Yo Gotti wanted to sign him. We knew that was firm, solid. We flew to Atlanta. Okay. We think we're going to meet Jazzy Faye, but it's Jeezy. Okay. And it's Coach K working with Jeezy. And this before Air Force One, all that. This for all that. Oh, this way before Trapper Die. This was the first mixtape.
The Snowman can't ban the Snowman.
Thug Motivation.
That was third. It was like
it wasn't Thug Motivation.
No, that's his
something
album.
about watching Streets Watching Me or something like that. It was DJ Drama though. The first Drama, Gangsta Grills tape Jeezy did with Drama, and man, it was So that wasn't even out. Like, that had just come out. We didn't know who the hell Jeezy was.
That's what I was going to say. We didn't know who Jeezy was.
Like, who's this guy? Either. But Coach K was like, man, look, I'm his manager. We want to talk to y'all. So we flew down to Atlanta. Man, Jeezy, we went to Houston first. Like, picked us up from the airport, gave us tickets, picked us up from the airport, took us to Houston for dinner. We eating dinner. Man, he's like, man, we going to go out, but I want to chop it up, talk some business, let y'all know who I am. Man, he telling us all this stuff about, man, I'm going to talk about Diddy. You know, I ain't supporting nothing Diddy doing right now. But at the time, Jeezy was signed to Bad Boy South, Boys in the Hood. He was like, man, I got this group I'm in, Boys in the Hood. We about to put out our album with Bad Boy South, Diddy, doing all this stuff. And he was like, man, I got my mixtape and I got my solo deal with Def Jam. And everybody, I'm sitting here like, man, this dude trying to sell us a wolf ticket like that. It sounds really good, but we ain't never heard of this dude. Like, all I heard of out of ATL was like T.I.
Outkast and stuff like that.
Ludacris was popping at the time. So I'm like, man, who are you? Like, but he's stunned. Like, man, he taking us to all the club. We go to about. First, we go to the shake joints, about 2 or 3 of them.
The shake joint.
Went up in the shake joints, and you know, they playing this song. He walk in, they start, DJ see him, they put his song on. Back then, it was I know Air Forces went wild. Man, he had one song that, man, they just went nuts.
I remember when G, like Black T, like he had like at this time right here, like what year is this? 2002.
This is 2001, 2002.
Yeah,
like this is when he broke. So man, it's one song they bringing out. This is the first time I ever saw it. Like this when you first videos they started like throwing money up, making it rain. That's when all that was popular in videos, right? So I'm seeing them bring out like bricks of money, like from the bank, wrapped in plastic.
Yeah.
Bricks of money. They tearing the plastic off, getting everybody a stack. Here go a stack, here go a stack. Man, he put a stack in my hand. I was like, I looked at Star, I was like, man, should I put this in my pocket?
Yeah. Shit.
He was like, nah, man, go on. Man, so I didn't even know how to make it rain, man. I did like that. Man, I hit one of the dancers in the face with like a wad of money.
Damn.
She wasn't mad because it was like $1,000, you know. But
yeah.
see, I was like, man, it didn't fly like the videos.
Yeah.
I was like, it just stayed together.
How your mind going? Because at first, like you said, you guys on your way down here because you guys like, all right, we finna talk business. We trying to get a deal, right? And then when you get down there, Coach K chop it up with y'all. But then a guy who we ain't never heard this guy on the radio, but he's telling us this, and we taking us to these places where they really playing them. Now what you like? Cause
we skeptical the whole time.
Yeah.
But you know, I'm walking around looking over my shoulder.
Yeah.
It's just me and Star. Like we ain't taking nobody else, just me and him too.
Yeah.
So man, we got all these guys surrounding us. I'm like, man, all right, we just gonna keep one eye open, see where this goes.
Yeah,
but
most
I know
definitely.
they trying to just make us feel good, make us feel
make it comfortable. Yeah.
It was funny story. So they started ordering bottles, and man, they got a bottle of Dom Perignon, brought it to the table, right? So I pull out my cup, I grabbed the bottle, and I started. G's like, "What you doing?" It's like,
Yeah, damn.
It's like, man, I'm about to pour me. He's like, man, it's my bottle. Like everybody get a bottle. Like,
Oh shit, yeah.
I'm like, man, let me get some. He was like, man, we don't share bottles. He's like, get a bottle. What you want a bottle? Tell him you want a bottle.
Man, yeah.
Like, I'm sitting there.
But I
like,
feel you
all
though.
right,
Yeah.
all right, okay. all
Cool.
right.
Let me get
I'm
that
playing.
then.
And it was a good night. Like we went. Man, I can't remember the first spot. We went one spot, then we went to Magic City, then we went to a third spot, then we went to the actual club after like 3 shake joints. So we went to the Tabernacle.
Yeah.
And that's when I ain't really put 2 and 2 together, but I think Star had that Jeezy mess around BMF. Because there was a lot of dudes right around yelling like BMF.
Yeah.
And like after we left the club, man, they jumping a dude in the parking lot. Like me and Star, we walking back to the car, we turn around, they jumping somebody.
Yeah.
Damn.
And like we just sitting there watching, like, man, y'all want to give us the keys? Like we trying to hop in the car. Man, they like yelling, and that's when I was like, all right, man, we got to real watch our back. Let's just get back home. Like, So they take us back to the hotel. They put us up at the W. Woke up the next morning, man. Jeezy took, I can't remember the name. We went to another restaurant.
Yeah.
Man, this dude woke up drinking, like vodka, ordering what they call with the champagne and mimosas and all kind of stuff, eating lobster.
You drink mimosas,
like,
Boopy?
Not really. I don't care.
I like mimosas.
He sound like he drank a little Prosecco.
He does.
He put a little Prosecco in the morning.
I might sip one if I'm out at brunch. You know
That's
what I mean?
me. That's me. If I'm out, I get one.
He said like he didn't want to say it.
Yeah,
but
he like,
I don't know.
It ain't my thing. I will drink. I won't turn it down, but I'm not going out to buy them. You know what I mean?
But,
I ain't making them at my house.
So long story short, man, we finally get on the plane. We come back, man. We kind of assess the situation with the team.
Yeah.
Everybody come in. We like, man, look, this is what happened. Some guy named Jeezy. He laid it out. He was like, look, this the path, this the plan. This is what we about to do. His Boys in Hood gonna drop. I'm gonna drop my solo album. About to blow. I'm gonna put all my people on, like Slick Puller.
Yeah.
Slick, he introduced us to Slick on this trip. So like he had all of that corporate thug, all of it.
He already had everything laid out. What he was gonna do.
He knew the plan. We were just like, man. So we went to visit Yo in Memphis, and it was like totally different because Memphis, we knew a lot of people in Memphis already.
Yeah.
Yo was not as flashy. So Yo just took us to, Yo had a studio in Germantown, which is right outside of Memphis near the Galleria Mall. He just took us to the studio. That's where we spent most of the time, but he had a show at the, it wasn't at the Pyramid. It's like another performance. It's like kind of like the Municipal Auditorium. He had a show somewhere down there, and so took us to the show. We mob out. It's like 10 cars deep.
Yeah.
Mob out to the show, backstage with Yo guy. He go perform, put on, do his thing. Brought Star out for the show. I think he let Star perform either Grey Goose or something else. Let him perform in the show.
Yeah.
And it just felt like, more comfortable.
Yeah.
It
Felt like home.
family,
Yeah.
y'all.
What I
Felt
was
like
saying.
home. Like, man, so we was like, man, we're gonna sign. And Gotti had his group, and they had a production deal going
What, the
on with Cash
Blackburns?
Money, Blackburns.
Yeah.
And they had the production deal with Cash Money, and so we were like, okay, so it's still a path to getting a deal with a major label.
Yeah, most definitely.
Either way, we probably could go, and we end up choosing Yo Gotti. Hindsight, man, I wish we would have been a little more savvy to know a little bit more about Jeezy and where he went. But I'm not mad at how we chose Gotti.
Yeah.
I think Gotti was still the right choice.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, Cash Money probably wasn't the right choice. Cause man, like we heard about stuff Cash Money was doing in terms of like shelving artists, not putting artists out. So Star ended up getting signed to Cash Money. They shelve them. And basically, when they shelve them, that's what kind of pushed me. I'm like, man.
That's what I was gonna ask you. Was you in Star? Like, was you still Star manager?
I was still
when
Star
Cash
manager
Money?
when he signed the Cash Money, but I mean, they shelved him for like 2 years, and we wasn't seeing nothing. Star was still trying to do stuff independently, but it's hard to move independently when you under a label,
Yeah.
too. So
How that phone call go to you though? To get Lito over to Cash Money.
So man, it was really a play because so Yo Gotti's manager at the time, his name was Pepper. Pepper at one point when they were doing Def Jam South, Scarface was president of Def Jam South.
Yeah.
Pepper was vice president under
Oh,
Scarface,
shit.
and so Pepper was connected. And so when we signed to Yo Gotti's production label, the play was, man, I'm about to go down to Cash Money and present the Block Burners demo to them and let them know what we working on in terms of an album. So I'm gonna throw some songs. So he was like, man, I'm about to throw 3 or 4 Star songs on this demo. And so he was like, man, we're gonna play them for Baby. He said as soon as he played like 2 of Star songs, Baby was like, man, who is this? He Block Burners? He was like, nah, this our solo act, Starlito. And Baby was like, man, I want to sign him too. So that was really the play. And so I didn't get to go. That I was supposed to go. I don't know what I was doing, man. This young and wild. But it was like 4th of July weekend, whatever year that was. Yo Gotti took Star and the crew. They all drove down to New Orleans to Baby Mansion to kick it party 4th of July, and that's where they first met Star. And that's when he first started recording some stuff.
So that's when you start backing out. You was just like,
I mean, after 2 years, the music industry, it wasn't. I mean, I think I had like some health issue where I needed to go to the hospital, the doctor, and I ain't had no insurance. I was like, man, I need to get a job. Like, this slow, this move ain't moving like we thought it was, and I just didn't know enough about the industry to.
Because you got far though. You got far to me.
myself.
Listening to your
And
story, you got
also,
far.
my brother, once my brother got killed, then it was, Star was still recording music. He was like in deep with Gotti then, and they were back and forth working. I think they were working on Yo Gotti, one of Yo Gotti's solo albums, the one that had Gangsta Party on it. They were working on that one. They were recording in New York. And so once that happened, I was really like, man, this whole music, gangster rap, like street stuff, I'm just
burnt out now. Yeah, you
man.
burnt out on it.
I'm on start. And really, I was like, man, I need to take my life seriously. So what do I really want to do? Not that music couldn't be serious. Music definitely was an option, but it was like, what do I really want my legacy to be? How do I want to look back on my life? Yeah. And how do I want to affect the people around me?
Facts.
Nah, that's nice. So after that, so you and did that relationship, the business relationship, did that end like on good terms? You and Starlito?
Yeah, it ended on good terms. I mean, Star, I told Star, man, anytime you need me, I'm always gonna be there for you. If he need me to look at a contract, he can send it over today, and I'll look at it.
Yeah.
Like, that's my dude, man. Me and Star is family. I think he understood the situation with my brother. Kind of just pushed me over the edge and kind of helped really make that decision for me to just look for a different path. And it was so my brother, that was March 2006. 6 months later, my grandfather in Chicago died. That was October. I don't even know. That's 6 months later. That's what March is 3, October is 10, and 7 months later.
Gotcha.
And man, a couple months after that, January is when a college buddy kind of was sitting me down to talk to me about running for council.
Okay.
Yeah, there
And
we
so
go.
that
Here
was
we
just
go.
kind of it was an out of blue opportunity that came, but it was like, man, maybe this is God like sending the opportunity my
Yeah.
way to show me like
GPS, man.
it's my path.
Yeah, so you running for council. What is that
Yeah,
like, man?
yeah, what's that?
What position were you running for? What was the exact title of what you was trying to get?
So buddy from college, I wasn't into politics like before.
Before he even said something to you, it was nothing.
Wait, he was a poli-sci major though. This, my buddy from college, he was a poli-sci major, so he was all into it. He was working on Howard Gentry's campaign for mayor in 2007.
Okay.
And he called me, and I used to like Howard Gentry, my frat brother. When we were like young cappers on the yard, Howard would come up every time he was running for something. He would come get us to help work his campaign. So we out there knocking doors for him, passing out material, working at the polls, passing out stuff, trying to get people to vote for Howard. So my homeboy working for Howard, I'm like, man, Howard just trying to ask me to work on his campaign. That's about to be the ass. So he asked me out. He was like, can we go out to dinner? I want to talk to you about this campaign and what's going on. And his name's Al D. So Al D, we go on to Chili's on West End. Okay. And we just going to chop it up. And at this time, I'm working at the Y. I gone back and I'm working at the Y. I'm just trying to figure it out, like I said, and he broaches the conversation. He's like, man, we've been talking around Howard's campaign office. We think you should run for Metro Council. And I'm like, you think who should run for Metro Council?
He's like, hold on, man. Northside Low, man.
What are you really talking about? And it wasn't like I knew about Metro Council because I had worked, there's a nonprofit called JUMP, Jefferson Street United Merchants Partnership. So it's like a business association for the businesses on Jefferson Street, and I was a college representative on their board. Okay. And so working with JUMP, like we would work with council people to get them to fix potholes on Jefferson Street, or we wanted certain signage, like we had to work with, so I knew what council people did basically. I didn't know everything. Like really, I didn't know probably 80% of it. I knew they represented people, and they were kind of the first level of representation that a lot of people had. And so the specific position they were thinking I should run for was Council District 1, which was the council person over north part of Bordeaux, Jolton, Scottsboro.
Okay, your neighborhood.
So it was basically my community. They were like, man, you grew up in that community. The person that holds the seat now, they're term limited, so they can't run again. So it's an open seat. Yeah. They were like, man, this the case he's making to me. He was like, you got to be 25 to run. You 26. And I'm like, dang.
He's giving you all, He like, hey, you can do this,
Like, I'm like, okay, I'm 26. Okay, I can run for this seat. I grew up in the neighborhood. I'm not having to run against somebody that's already known in that seat. Like, it's an open seat, so ain't nobody gonna be in the race that has an edge up on me. And he just make this case, and I'm like, all right, man. I tell him, let me think about it. I'm going to get back to you. I'm giving one of those, and really, this ghosting before ghosting. That's what I plan on doing. I was just going to answer his call for a couple of weeks.
He'll get the point.
Like, everything kind of blows over. Yeah. I was really too embarrassed to tell him, like, I don't even know how to put my name on the ballot. I don't know. Like, I really don't know about this stuff. But I didn't want to say that to him, but I didn't. Like, I went back. He did a good enough job of planting a seed that I couldn't stop thinking about the opportunity. It kept coming up. So I started asking my parents' neighbors. I'm going to, like, people that knew me that are older, because I'm like, young people don't really vote. Let me talk to some older people. Yeah. And I'm like, man, somebody talked to me about running for council. What you think I should think about doing? And they were, oh, yeah, you should think about it. You be all right. So I went to church. I go to Temple Baptist Church. So I went to church. I started asking a lot of people around church, you think I should run for council? So, man, once I got enough people, and enough for me was about 15, 20.
Yeah. That's enough,
Once I got 15 to 20 people at the time, like, telling me they thought I should do it, they would vote for me.
That they'll vote for you, yeah.
And I made a call. I found out who to talk to about getting my name on the ballot. I made a call, and I said, what do I need to do to put my name on the ballot? I called the election commission. They said, you need 25 signatures from registered voters in the area you want to represent. Okay. And I was like, that's it? Yeah. Like, I was like, man, I could get that at church. Like, yeah. So I picked up the petition. I put my name on it, got it signed, turned it back in, put my name on the ballot. And really, from there, I put together a team. Shout out to Brenda Gilmore. She was my predecessor. So she was the council person for District 1 before me.
Yeah.
And she was the one that was term limit, but she took a meeting with me. I was like, I need to meet with you. I want to learn about, this position. I want to learn what it takes to win. And she said, she kind of sized me up.
Yeah, yeah.
She met with me. She sized me up. And then she called me afterwards. She was like, I want to help you. And she kind of just laid it out. She was like, look, these are the people you need. So she gave me a list of like 10 people. She was like, you got to know these people.
Okay.
These people will, these are people in certain neighborhoods or communities in the district that you need to know. And they're leaders. They're going to know other people. And they're going to be able to kind of spread the word for you. You need a treasurer. Like she gave me the game.
The blueprint. Yeah.
And so she was like, you got to have a team. I was like, okay, I need a team. And me, I'm big on loyalty and trust. One thing me and Star did, I ain't mention it, but me and Star started a record label together called Loyalty Records.
Yeah. I remember
Okay.
that. Yeah.
You said
we had paper was signed to us. There was a couple other people that we signed to Loyalty. So I'm big on loyalty and trust, though.
Yeah.
And
Man,
so,
you're making some good moves in music, man.
I told you, man, anything I put my mind to, I'm going to go 100%, and I know that I could be successful.
Yeah.
It's just, what do I want to get involved? I've been able to use discernment, and I've been lucky enough that my bad decisions weren't fatal.
Yeah.
I guess for lack of a better term.
Yeah.
And they didn't really put me in a compromising position, but my good decisions, they really put me in positions to be successful.
Yeah.
And
Now that's deep, though. We're gonna get back to what
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
saying because that's deep to me.
Yeah.
Because you can be good at something, right?
Yeah.
But it can still be bad.
No, I
And
have a story to tell.
You
with
see
that
what I'm
too.
saying?
Yeah,
And
I know what you're saying.
Like, cause when that bag, cause you can go get a bag that way, right?
Hey.
Even though I know I'm good at this, but man, it's my trigger when I come down here. Like, it's gonna be my trigger, but it's a bag.
Yeah.
So
And
I'm gonna come back.
Yeah,
to that.
yeah,
I
for
do
sure.
I have a story to share. A TSU story, but
All right.
so my team that I put together, I didn't like look for people that were involved in politics, that run campaigns. We were all green, but there were people that I trusted, and I knew what type of people. Like I knew the type of expertise I needed or the competencies that I needed people to have, and so my campaign manager was Eric Holt from Love Noise. Eric at the time, Love Noise, one of the best events in the city. He knew how to promote people.
Yeah.
Love Noise, aside from like throwing parties, they did marketing. And so I was like, man, Eric, look, I want you to market me, but market me kind of like I'm an artist.
Yeah.
Treat me like I'm an artist. Find the right audiences for me to be in front of, set it up, just put me in front of people, and I'll handle the rest.
Yeah, yeah.
That's all I need you to put me in front of the right audiences, put me in front of the right people to talk to about my campaign, get my message out, and I'll take it from there. I was an accounting major, so I had plenty of accounting friends that could be my treasurer. That's how I got to be my treasurer. I had one of my best friends from college. I had him become my field director because he was just good at like organizing people and like he would organize some community service events that our frat would do and stuff. So he was my field director. He planned all like door knocking and phone banking and all this stuff. And we were just young. We were energetic. We were determined. And it was just a good team, man. And people like joined in too. Once we got the momentum going,
messing with you.
people was like, man, we want to jump on. We want to volunteer on the campaign. So, man, I saw the momentum build.
And then y'all lost. Like, come on, Lo. We got to get you. I mean, that's a sweet story, bro.
Yeah.
But was it a man or a woman that came in and kicked your ass? You lost.
So, no, it was 5 people in the race.
Yeah.
It was me and 4 other people. And
You came in fourth.
Honestly,
What?
honestly, so I came in. Nah, for real.
It was first or second.
That's a great question. Nah, so I came in second.
Oh, hell yeah.
Doing
Hell
the
yeah.
All right. It was 5 people, but how races run in Metro, like you have to have. They say it's funny how they say it. It's 50% plus 1 vote. So let's say it's I had to use an odd number. Let's say 16.
Yeah.
Half 16 is 8.
Yeah.
8 plus 1 is really 9.
Yeah.
I would say 51%, but it's like it could be 50.1, like 50%, whatever half the vote is plus 1 on top of that.
Yeah.
And you win the race outright. But if you don't get that 50%, you go to a runoff, and it's the top 2 people.
Yeah.
So I told you my district was like North Bordeaux, Jolton, Scottsboro, Bells Bend, 3 really different communities. Scottsboro, Bells Bend is like Ashland City. It's country and rural.
Oh, yeah, most definitely. Yeah.
Jolton is in between. Jolton has the country rural, but it wants to be like suburban. Like they want the Dairy Queen, they want like all that stuff, but
they don't want us though.
We don't want all of it.
Yeah, I know what you're
and
saying.
Bordeaux was like, man, we want jobs, we want restaurants, we want all that stuff. Like, bring it on.
Yeah.
And so it was kind of different, but Bordeaux was majority black, Jolton majority white, Scottsboro majority white.
Yes.
It was one white candidate. His name's Ken Jakes. He was the top vote getter in the general election. Mm-hmm. He didn't split the vote. The 4 candidates were black. We split the vote. And really, it was between the top 2 getters after Ken was me and William Mason. We call him Bug. Good dude.
Okay.
But I beat Bug by 20. I don't count my vote, but if I count my vote, 23 votes.
Okay.
But 22 votes is what I beat Bug by between second and third. Like, it was that close.
Mm.
That's not even a whole street of
Yeah.
voters. You know, that's probably half a street of voters. And so I was lucky enough to make the runoff against Ken Jackson. At that point, it's me and Ken. Ken is he's a decent guy, but Ken's really radical. Like, he's one of he's not a Trumper. He's not but his
approach.
like Ken was angry at the world.
Yeah.
So every time he spoke, like he spoke and he was like aggressive. Like, he wanted to burn the government down. Like, he wanted to like, we just need all this. So my approach was really like, man, let's plan a couple debates, and all I gotta do is set off his trigger, and I ain't gotta talk the rest of the time.
Yeah.
Like, he gonna sell.
He gonna show out anyway. Yeah.
You know? And that's what I mean. We playing 2 debates. One was in Jolton, one's in Bordeaux, and both times I kind of just triggered him. I bring up an issue I knew he would. It had nothing to do with me, but I knew he was pissed off at the government about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He just looked crazy, like on stage, and you know, I just made sure I'm polished. I'm not, because I don't know what I'm really getting myself into.
Yeah.
I'm not willing to commit to a lot on the campaign.
For sure.
Gotcha.
And that's
You
what
still
a
trying
lot
to
of
get
people,
your feet
you
wet.
campaign, a lot of people want you to come. I'm like, look, I can't promise you that, but I promise I'm gonna do what's in the best interest of our community. And when I learn more about the position, I'm gonna do everything I can to learn about the position, represent our community the best way possible. And that was really my campaign. You know,
That's part of the
these are the
campaign, though,
issues
right?
that are
Yeah.
important to me. I'm telling you know, let's you know, reduce gun violence. Mainly because of what happened to my brother, which was one of my inspirations for jumping into the race. But let's bring jobs to Bordeaux. Let's protect and conserve the community of Jolton, Scottsboro, Bells Bend, to make sure there's not a lot of development that goes on and sprawl into those communities. And people resonate. I was like, I'm good with that platform, you know. And so I got into it, man. We won the race. We won the runoff big time. It was like 60% to 40%. Like, it wasn't even close in the runoff. And once I got into office, it took me a while to really learn government, learn council, and learn how to navigate the system, learn how to really create policy. But once I learned it, man, I fell in love with it because it has so much influence over people's lives and how our community grows and really how we want to be as a city. And so it made a huge difference in my life, but I could see that was making a huge difference in people's lives around me too.
And that was the pretty much the foundation of you getting into what we would call politics. So if we fast forward to today, man, what's your job title today?
So I'm the Juvenile Court Clerk. So After council, I did lose a race.
Yeah, babe.
I did lose a race, and it's probably the most impactful race I run out of besides my first one.
Yeah.
My first one was the learning opportunity. I won my re-election race for the District 1 council seat handily. I did have some opposition, and that's where I kind of got into it with police because
You was on CNN?
I just took a pretty anti-police stance after a couple of things that were happening in the nation.
Mm-hmm.
The police, they have a union, and they union doing campaigns. They always send out these surveys, and I answered the survey. I was like, yeah, I want body cameras. I want all that, and send it back to them. They were like, well, we're going to endorse your opponent. And I was like, okay, that's cool.
Once you said, hold on, they was sending you stuff first, right? And
no,
then,
they send it to everybody.
Okay, send it to everybody.
Anybody running the race, they send the same survey, but usually people
What you say on your survey?
Try to appease the police.
Yeah.
I'm
Most
like,
definitely.
nah, like I want some accountability. I want all of this, and
They like, all right, cool. We're gonna run with him.
We're supporting your opponent. My opponent was a former policeman, though, so I really didn't expect to get their endorsement in the first place. But they hadn't endorsed me since. I say that.
I like what you said though, that they send it to everybody who runs.
I've been in a lot of other races. They haven't endorsed me.
They like, hey, remember? Like, nah, I ain't doing that.
But so I won that race. My third race, I was term limited, so I'm in the same position that Brenda Gilmore was in before I got the position, right? So I'm term limited. I can't run for that seat anymore. I'm really trying to figure out what's next for me. And to me, the natural next step was to run for council at large. I hadn't really thought about another office outside of like running for state house or state senate. I hadn't thought about anything like that. And I knew I wanted to stay involved in government in some way. And so I was like, man, let me run.
You like it now. You like what you got. The
I was
journey.
like, let me run for council at large. See what happens. So I ran, and man, I made the runoff. So I told you about how runoffs work. I made the runoff, and at large is at large is a different seat. It's 5 at large seats, and it's basically the 5 people that get the most votes for that position. You all kind of run on this slate. It was like 26 of us running for 5 seats.
Gotcha.
And so I made the runoff. That runoff, it was one person that made it without a runoff. Got 50% plus the 1 vote, right? And so it was 4 seats that were still open, and they took the top 8. So it was 8 of us in the runoff for these 4 seats. And I probably came in like 6 or something like that. But 6 or 7.
Out of the 25 though?
Nah, this was in the runoff. It was just 8.
Oh, just 8 of y'all in the
I came in like 6 or 7. And really what I learned during that race was it's a different type because it's countywide. So first, I learned like countywide races are a beast because Nashville, even though I've been here like my whole life, man, as far as the Nashville, I had never seen. And so I'm going to events like deep in Donaldson, like back streets in Donaldson. I'm like, man, I didn't even know this was back here. And it's a community, it's a neighborhood, and so I learned a lot about Nashville and the county and how wide and how diverse it really is. The other thing was my heart wasn't really in. I didn't have a why, and I normally will not do anything without having like a why or a purpose for me doing that.
Absolutely.
And so I got into this race running for council at large, and it was just I should be doing this. This is next, but it wasn't really next for me. And I still didn't have a why. After I lost the race, I was still like, I don't know what my purpose is supposed to be right now. The third thing that happened, which if you're running in a race at all, you probably shouldn't get involved in other people's races. But we had a mayoral race going on at that time. It was and they had a runoff. It was Megan Berry versus David Fox. And I stayed out of the race for the general, but during the runoff, Megan Berry came to me, and we started on council together, so we were good friends. And she was like, can you help me? And I should have just told her, no, I'm going to vote for you, but I'm not going to jump in your race. I got my own race that I'm running. But I did. I was like, man, I'm going to endorse you. And in my head, this is kind of the if I had a why, my why probably would have guided me in a different direction to not even think about this. But in my head, it was like, okay, David Fox cannot be mayor by any means. Like, that's gonna be horrible for Nashville, right? Conservative, Republican would have took us down just a different direction. I mean, David Fox is not Trump, but had David Fox been president, I mean, mayor, when Trump was elected president, like, just think Nashville, Nashville been like the rest of Tennessee. I mean, it would have been really dangerous politically for us. And so I was like, man, this dude cannot win this mayor seat by any means. So I'm going to endorse you, is what I told her. I'm going to do a public endorsement. But in my head, it was like, if I endorse her, she wins mayor and I lose, I'm good with that. If I win my council at large seat and she lose mayor, I'm not going to like being council at large.
Yeah.
Having to work with that mayor. Like, I'm not going to like that. So I was like, I'm good with that, the consequences of, you know,
whatever play out.
Whatever
play out.
And that's how it happened. She won the mayor seat. I lost my council seat. She called me like as soon as the results came out. She was like, look, I'm disappointed that you didn't win. But I think you should be involved in government somehow still. She should like take some time, take a couple weeks, you know, rest up, and let's talk in a couple weeks and see what that could look like. Okay. And she didn't say it, but I was like, man, she probably gonna offer me a job in her administration. And that's what ended up happening. She offered me a job to work in the mayor's office. I directed the Office of Neighborhoods and Community Engagement. So I was I was over all of the city's engagement with like neighborhood issues. That could be anything from like public works issue, paving roads, to like community
just
health
whatever
issues.
our issues is.
Yeah.
Was
pretty
that
much everything touches neighborhoods. I would have to work with neighborhoods on resolving those.
She gave you that title, or that was already a position?
It was already, so Mayor Purcell, Bill Purcell created the Office of Neighborhoods when he was mayor. And that's something every mayor after him just kept
going
as part of the office. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. And she gave, that's what's up, man.
But the unique, I guess what she did unique to my role, she also gave me the responsibility to be her criminal justice policy advisor. So when issues came up, like we actually got funding or gave funding to get body-worn cameras when she was mayor. Police didn't want to implement them, so they kind of started off. And so I had to create a process to say, hey, look, we about to create the policy because y'all about to start wearing these cameras. So we went through this public process of creating like a recommended policy to get to the chief of police. At that time, it was Steve Anderson. He didn't want no parts of it. I won't get into that whole relationship, but he probably should have retired a whole lot sooner than he did.
When he did.
Chief Drake, and I know Chief Drake, me and him, we were actually really good friends, and I think that he is a more receptive chief than Chief Anderson was to not all the reforms that people are pushing for, but he's more receptive to things like body cameras or just police accountability to some degree. And so I think had I had a working relationship with him as chief, I didn't get to work with him as chief.
Oh, okay. That's what I was going to ask you
next. By the time I left the mayor's office and became Juvenile Court Clerk, Chief Anderson was still the chief, and Chief Drake didn't get named chief until I think my second year as clerk. But what happened was one day we were working on the city's budget, and the mayor had a question for Judge Calloway, who's the juvenile court judge. And since I was the criminal justice policy advisor, she was like, Lonnell, you need to reach out to her and see if we get this budget question answered for her department. And so I called her, like, it had to be like between 8 and 9 in the morning. It's like one of my first calls the morning, this morning that I made this call. And she answered the phone. She was like, oh, you running for juvenile court clerk? I was like, I'm perplexed. Like, what you talk about? What's happening with David? David Smith was my predecessor. And she said, oh, man, David just told me he's retiring. He's not running again. I was like, huh, that's interesting. I was like, I called you for something else, but we could talk about that later. I'm going to call you back.
Yeah.
And so I got my question answered about the budget. Called her back later that afternoon, and I called David Smith and talked to him. And for me, thinking about even running for that office, I had more of a why because my career at the Y, I hadn't really talked about my career at the Y much, but at the Y I was executive director of youth outreach, so I was over all the youth outreach programs for the YMCA, your Y Caps, Black Achievers, Latino Achievers, fund companies, all those programs, right? And I had grown this passion for government, and I was like, man, this is an opportunity for me to be able to impact young people and government at the same time.
Yeah.
And so, but it was going to put me back into another campaign and running for an elected office again, which I hadn't taken off the table. And quite frankly, Megan Berry told me that she saw me running for office again at some point before I even went into her office to work for her office. And so, circled the wagon, talked to my wife, talked to the Megan Berry at the time, and everybody was like, "Man, yeah, go for it."
Everybody was on board.
Everybody was on board, and lo and behold, this was the summer before she ended up resigning from there. So no one saw that coming. And
whatever happened to Megan Berry? I wasn't paying attention. Why did she resign?
Oh, you messy. You a messy host.
I'm just
You a messy host.
Look,
All right.
hey, you caught me up guard. Look, now I'm saying, damn, what you do again? But I'm like, damn, man.
Google it. I ain't gonna get my brother in trouble, man. Y'all just Google Megan Berry, Mayor
I mean,
Nashville.
she's open and honest about it. She had an extramarital affair with one of her security officers, and
she just accidentally cheated. That's it.
I don't know that it was accidental. It was a conscious decision, but back to working with kids and make bad decisions. We all make bad decisions at some
most definitely.
point.
I was one of them.
So she ended up resigning. I was running my race in 2018, so I took a leave of absence from the office before that year started. In December 2017, I took a leave of absence.
Before all that happened?
Before it all came out. And so I was on leave of absence. I actually got a call.
I ain't gonna take a leave.
I had made the decision that I was running for the office like that summer before. So I knew it was coming up, and I had a plan of I'm going to work until the end of this year. I'm going to start campaigning at the beginning of 2018.
Because campaign is a beach,
election,
right?
Yeah, the election is like May of 2018.
Okay.
So I'm like, okay, this is going to be a quick campaign, but this is my plan. And also, I was working. Like, I needed a check up until the very last minute that I couldn't. So I had to, plan and save and make sure my family was going to be okay during the time I was campaigning. So I take a leave of absence. A month later, she calls me one morning. She's like, can you come into the office? I have an announcement to make. And so I went into the office. She told all the staff at the same time. And then she went and made the announcement. I was like, man, I did not see this coming.
Yeah. It happened fast.
It happened fast. It was wild. It was unfortunate for the city because she had a lot of momentum.
Most definitely. We still love Meg.
Well, we had the first transit referendum was coming up that May. It was going to be on the same ballot that I'm on for Juvenile Court Clerk. And so the whole office had been working toward that transit referendum, and it had a lot of momentum. I think it would have passed had that situation not happened.
Most definitely.
But of course, what happened. I got elected. I won my race, and I really feel like the reason I won that race, it was my second countywide race. It was another countywide. It was a beast. Yeah. But I also had a purpose. I had a why of why I wanted to actually serve in that role, and end up winning that race, and have been at Juvenile Court as the clerk since 2018. So this is my 6th year as the clerk of court. It's a 4-year term, so I had re-election in 2022, and that was the first time I ever ran a race unopposed. So to me, that was just a testament of being able to kind of go in, roll up my sleeves, do as good of a job as I could do in the first 4 years in a new position, and no one came out in opposition of me serving the second term. And so I'm in my second term. Working with Judge Sheila Calloway is amazing because she is a a huge advocate of justice reform,
Yeah,
and
okay.
we've been able to partner and try to implement some reforms to be able to kind of show and prove like what could happen if you embrace reforms in the justice system. And we're hoping that, you know, some other courts take notice of that, especially across the state of Tennessee, but even in Nashville, like, you know, the adult criminal court and adult state trial court, they take a notice of some of the type of diversionary programs we put in place, restorative justice programs that we put in place, and try to implement them in their courts too.
Yeah, most definitely. So
and
it's
Megan
class-
Barrett, just full circle, close the loop on that. Like, she's running for Congress now. So,
I saw that. I saw that.
You know,
voting for
she.
her.
It was funny because when I first told her I was thinking about running for Juvenile Court Clerk, I sat her down. She's like, I knew you was gonna run for something else one day. And so she called me about a year ago, and she asked me to go to coffee with her, and we went to coffee in East Nashville, to a coffee shop in East Nashville, and she was like, I'm thinking about running for Congress. I was like, you know what you told me when I ran for Juvenile Court Clerk? I'm gonna tell you now. I knew you was gonna run for something else one day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so she's running for Congress. I've been able to help and support her campaign for Congress. I actually she's in my congressional district. She's running for my congressional district.
There you
So
go.
I get to vote for her this time, and I've held a meet and greet at my house so she can meet some people in Bordeaux that she may
dope.
not have met when she was mayor, and let voters know that she was. It's confusing too because they broke the congressional seat that was Jim Cooper's seat, and it was all of Davidson County. They broke Davidson County in like 4 different congressional seats, so everybody's confused on which district they actually have to vote in, and it's not just one person running to be the congressman for Nashville.
When you say they broke a seat, like it was one seat, then they broke it all down? Or,
They changed the lines, but the old lines used to have all of Davidson County in one congressional district.
Yeah.
They broke Davidson County. The Republicans got to draw the lines last time, and so they wanted to break Davidson County up because it's a largely Democratic city, so they broke it into 4 congressional districts.
okay.
Okay.
So you have majority of the voters actually voting in other counties, and Davidson County makes up a minority, like a small minority of that district. That
So-
makes it hard for Democrats to win it.
So since we've been talking, I heard you mention your brother. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Rest in peace to
yeah.
your brother Farah. That was a
Most
real
definitely.
real good friend of mine, and we know his life was taken with gun violence, right?
Yep.
So I want to ask you, like, what I guess what can we do as a city of Nashville, to combat or try to decrease gun violence in our city? And this is from all the way from the politicians all the way to regular guys like me and my brother. What can we do as a city to deter that?
Man, gun violence is in America. I'm gonna say it's a difficult conversation, but it's really it's a difficult American conversation.
Yeah.
So I do a lot of traveling now, and when I travel, whether it's when I travel out of the nation, most of my travels to the Caribbean, but I've been able to go to Europe a couple of times in different cities in Europe. They don't have the same issues with violence that we have here in America.
Yeah, that's
like,
true.
Paris, last time I went to Paris, it was a couple years ago, but I think I looked up, and I'm always conscious and paranoid about, how prepared do I need to be for certain situations,
yeah.
traveling to some place I've never been to and don't really know a lot about. So I'm looking up statistics, and Paris had 3 gun violence incidents in a year. I'm like,
yeah.
what?
Yeah, yeah,
What? 3?
yeah, and that's it. Yeah,
I think it's part of it is American culture.
Most
I'm not
definitely.
man. Some guy came up to me a couple of weeks ago. He's running for an office, and he's a Republican, and he was like, I'm a Second Amendment guy.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And man, I kind of sat with that because I hear a lot of people say that, right? And I'm a licensed gun owner, so I support the Second Amendment.
Gotcha.
Even though you don't have to have a license in Tennessee, I had my license when you did.
When you
have
die,
a
I
license
would say
in
they just
Tennessee,
say,
right? So I support the Second Amendment, but I left that conversation and I was in the car. I was like, man, I'm a Second Amendments guy. Like, that's kind of funny to say. Like, I don't go around saying I'm a 13th or 14th Amendment guy. Like we're American, right? We're supposed to be for all the amendments. That's our Constitution. That's what's supposed to really govern us as a country. And the culture of America has become like a culture that breeds violence.
They want violence.
And so to answer, this is a long way to get to the answer of your question, but really the first thing that we should do is reducing the trauma that young people have to go through in our community that could lead to them being in a situation where they choose violence in the first place.
Now, when you say trauma, are you talking things like lack of resources and in the quote unquote?
Some of that's traumatic, but really it's
entertainment.
Nah, trauma is really more about so how we raise our children. Like
exactly.
Somebody told me, man, I was with a group of teen guys yesterday. We started this program called King and Me. I work with an initiative called My Brother's Keeper, which is an initiative that President Obama started when he was in the White House, but it's all about achievement for black and brown boys because they are the lowest performing when it comes to like education, economic attainment, health statistics, and they're the leaders in incarceration. So it's like, I want to reverse the statistics for the lowest performing demographic. And so we started an initiative with Metro Schools called The King and Me, and one of the guys said yesterday, man, it was funny, and I chuckled, but I was like, man, I shouldn't have, but it was funny. Like what he said resonated with me because I've been there before. And he was like, if your mom came in and asked you to go wash the dishes, and you was like, I'm tired, and she said something back like, okay, I'm gonna make sure you tired. That's trauma already, because it's traumatic in the sense that, not that you shouldn't listen to your parents, right? Like, we know you should listen to your parents, but it's the way in which we use violence to get them to act a certain way.
Lo, you up here sounding soft. You sound soft, man. We grew up on ass whoopings and threatened to get our ass whooped. Lo, what are you up here talking about right now?
My mom used to tell me, hit you so hard, your head gonna swim. So look, so you telling me that was trauma?
I'm hearing a lot of trauma at this table right now. Like, listen to it. I sound soft, but we grew up on ass whoopings. Yes. But what's the first thing that we look to do when we feel like we facing adversity? We look to whoop ass because that's what we've been taught.
Or we get in defense mode, right? We don't automatically.
But why do you get in defense mode?
Because of our environment.
We black in America. We black men in America.
Because of our environment. Now I'm with you. I'm with you, Lo. But I'm saying this also.
Do you know why black culture has sought to discipline their own in the way that we discipline our own?
I don't even think we discipline our own.
We learned it. We learned it.
So you just said we whoop ass, like
but I'm saying I'm more saying like whoop ass, like to make you get up to go do something.
Okay, like, but why do we choose whooping ass to make us get up and go do something?
Well, the slave master whooped our ass.
That wasn't it.
I think it's more the.
It had something to do with the slave master, but it was really to keep our children from having to suffer the consequences of the slave master.
Exactly. Yeah.
It was to keep them in line in front of the slave master. Like, don't go do stuff you ain't supposed to do. It's to make sure that you understand that I'm gonna whoop your ass and keep you in line. Right?
Yeah. Because they gonna do worse than whoop your ass. That's how they looked at it, right? Like, if the slave master sees you doing some bullshit.
Passed that down, even though we're not on plantations anymore. We still pass that mentality of discipline to keep you in line. We in the store, you acting out in the store, you asking for candy. I'm gonna slap you. Give you a little smack right now. All right.
Or talk to me without her lips.
Else.
My mama talked to me without her lips.
Better not go out there and embarrass me when we walk in this church.
That's a fact.
It's all about trying to keep ourselves in line, but it's done in a way where it's very traumatic. Where we kind of create this lack of emotional intelligence. To where we don't really understand how to process our feelings, to where we do get in a situation where we feel like it's fight or flight. We really don't have too many choices
I see what
for
you
us to
said.
even make.
It's
Because-
only them two right there. It's only them two.
We've
What you gonna do?
limited the amount of ways that we could process, and there's some emotions we just don't even know how to deal
Low,
with.
but we grew
That's a
up.
fact.
But low, we
Because-
grew up. But low, we grew up, man. I'm with you 100%. But we grew. Our generation grew up a little tougher. 'Cause
Okay.
what I mean by that is, man, get your, like, you can be going through something. I'm tired. Your mama gonna be like, boy, you tired? Get your ass up. I'm tired. I've been working all day. You
I'm
ain't
not
been
debating
working
that.
all day. So
You-
I'm just.
I'm not debating
No,
that.
no. I don't think you're debating it. I'm just saying, like,
I'm saying, when does that cycle break?
that. Hold on. That
Or
we
does
that
it?
we continue to raise our kids strong. When do
Is that what you call it?
I think so.
Yeah, I mean, I ain't
do.
gonna lie, Lo,
It
and so-
molded us into the men we are today. We
Is
need
that what molded you? Or
Listen-
have you changed a lot from what you used to be?
I've changed a lot. I have changed a lot.
But I'm still.
I don't know. I guess I look at it as nostalgic now, right? Because I don't look at it as trauma.
So
It's- my mom-
I'll put it like this. So
I
and
look at it as
I
molding.
struggle with this too. Like
Okay.
this not something that I'm not an expert at this. I struggle with this too.
Uh-huh.
So my kids go to summer camp. There's another couple. Me and my wife, we hang with this other couple.
Uh-huh.
We call them like our best friend family.
Okay.
Because they had their kids at the same time. And we had our kids. Like our first kids, they 5 months apart. Our second kid, they're 1 month apart. Like they
Ah,
pregnant
yeah,
at the
so
same
y'all-
time.
yeah.
We do a lot of stuff together, travel. So they go to the same summer camps. Like their kids go to the same summer camps as ours, right? They were all at Adventure Science Center camp. They have 2 girls. I have a boy and a girl. My boy is the oldest. So my boy is always around a lot of girls. That's the situation he finds himself in. They go to camp. One of the other couples, their oldest daughter, she gets bullied by another kid, right? Goes home, tells her mom. Her mom calls my wife, tells her the situation. Oh, my daughter was getting bullied at camp. Da-da-da-da-da. My wife gets off the phone, calls my son in the room. I'm sitting there listening to all of it. I'm ear hustling. Right?
Yeah, most definitely.
yeah.
I'm probably
Yeah.
doing some
Yeah.
work. I'm just listening to all this transpire. My wife says to my son, hey, why didn't you take up for the girl? She was getting bullied. In the back of my head, I'm like, man, my son ain't been in a fight in his life.
yeah.
Like, so he's going to take up for somebody and get in the first fight?
Yeah, for
He's
somebody
never
else.
been in?
Yeah.
And probably get beat up?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
like
Okay.
what situation are you putting them in? Like, come on, let's think
You
about
ain't
it,
said
right?
this yet. You thinking.
Yeah, yeah.
No, I ain't said it to her.
Yeah.
I'm having this. I had the conversation with her when he left the room. I was like, you can't really expect him
Exactly.
to be that kind of dude, and he hadn't been raised to be
in
that
that.
type of dude, right?
Yeah.
He hadn't had that type of adversity or faced that type of adversity. Now I've had conversations with him about, man, you're gonna have to fight at some point,
Most definitely.
Yeah.
but he ain't had to, right?
Yeah.
Makes you stronger just to fight. Yeah, taking that lick. But what makes you stronger is knowing you get back up after the lick, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. Yeah. I'm with
Like, I done whooped ass. I done had my ass whooped, right? I've been in both situations. Like, I faced that adversity. But I grew up, my mama taught me, like, don't come home and say you got beat up. You better pick up a brick or something.
Yeah, hit him.
you better come home.
Now, that
and let
sound
me
like-
know
yeah.
that you did everything you could to win that fight before you come in this house, right?
Yeah.
That's how I was taught. Like, I don't want my son going out just looking to like mess somebody up, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I grew up and I wasn't a violent dude. Like, I ain't shoot a gun till I got my license, right? And I got my license during the pandemic.
Okay.
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 You know, that's
Online.
first time. Yeah, I got my license
Oh.
in. Yeah, I had to go to the range and so.
Yeah, it was different then, right?
But I'm saying, I wasn't looking to shoot a gun.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I'll pick up a brick and bust your head. But I
Yeah,
wasn't
but a
trying to
gun,
like take you
yeah.
out.
Take you out, yeah, most definitely.
You know? And so I was aggressive as a kid. I was also the short kid for most of my life.
Yeah.
I had a little growth spur, but But I was a short kid, so I'm like Napoleon complex out there. I'm talking tough. I'm like, in big bully's face. I'm like, man, what's up? Like, and I had cousins that I knew they got down. So at UM my cousin was the toughest dude at the school. When we found out we were cousins, I was like, shoot, I got you on the homework. You had no business.
That's how he did me. I had him on his, he had me on my homework, so I told him I'll beat up everybody for you.
You know, so I had, my son, he's going to have to fight. He's going to fight
Eventually.
one day. He's eventually going to fight.
Eventually,
He got to. Even the school he goes to, like, they don't deal with that. He go to a charter school. They don't deal with discipline. Like the whole school is disciplined. Like they don't talk during lunchtime.
Damn.
It's strict, right?
Yeah.
So he has a lot of discipline in his life. At some point, he's gonna run into a situation where somebody's going through a lot of trauma, and it's gonna be different for him. But it's the trauma that's gonna cause that situation.
He might kick their ass though.
He might not. But the trauma is the reason the situation is going to be in front of him in the first place.
It's because he never been in a situation.
No, it's because the trauma was given to the other person. And they're going to bring it into his life. You can't avoid all trauma.
No, you can't.
And
No,
I give my son some trauma.
I agree with you. I agree with you on
I have to catch
that.
myself.
I agree with you on
I
that.
talk crazy to my son sometimes. Sometimes he just gets to the point where I'll be like, look.
Yeah.
And then I pull myself back. I think, like, okay.
Yeah, let me. Because he wasn't like you.
I want to do this different.
Yeah.
Like, I had to tell my mom, don't tell him the crazy stuff you was telling me. Like, don't do that. Like, we really trying to break those cycles of trauma. But trauma, I mean, it's everything from how our parents talk to us, and some of it really in verbal. Most of it in verbal, I should say. Shoot, leaving a kid home alone 10 o'clock at night because you at work, that's traumatic. To have to
I agree with you on that now.
Nah, to have to think, when you put a kid in an adult position.
Yeah, it's traumatic.
And they don't know how to make adult decisions. Like, that's traumatic for them that you have to think about. They're confused, man.
Yeah. They don't know how to handle it.
They want to do the kid stuff.
Yeah.
But then they like, oh man, should we do this? Would an adult make a difference? They don't know how to process all that.
I agree
man.
with you on that.
Right.
I do agree with you on
right.
that.
And
So
kids do grow up.
So as much as we could do to introduce kids to the least amount of trauma as possible, that's the preventative way, right?
Yeah.
That's the preventative way of stopping violence from happening at the rate that it's happening. Access to guns is terrible. Like, if you're gonna own a gun, be a responsible gun owner.
Yeah.
Lock your gun up. Don't leave it in your car. You know,
Yeah.
don't, if you're gonna have it in your car, don't have the magazine and the gun and the chamber right beside each other. Like, separate them at least. Like, make it difficult.
Yeah.
For kids. Man, a kid. So we did a youth violence summit when I was in the mayor's office that I put together. And one of the high school students, they told me literally, they were like, it's easier for me to buy a gun than it is to buy a pack of cigarettes.
I can believe that.
Yeah, I can believe that.
Like,
My sister just had her 15-year-old mail a box of bullets to her house. And she's like, she called me instantly, right? And was like, oh my God, hysterical. And then she was like, I can't believe they let a 15-year-old. And I was like, yeah.
man, just
but
think about that, though.
But I'm with you,
a pack
though.
of cigarettes.
He can't even walk. I know for a fact he couldn't
can't go in
walk
the
in
store
Exxon
and buy a pack of
cigarettes because they gon', hell, now you look young. But online, he can order things that can get you
Or you go
killed.
to the guy up the street who got a gun for sale. You know
Ah,
what I'm
yeah.
saying?
That's
my
what he
gun.
was basically
Yeah.
saying. He was like, man, I
That's
know.
how I buy my
he was
gun.
like,
Buy my first gun.
I could go to school today and get probably 10 guns if I want. I know where to go get them.
Yeah.
That's what the kid was telling us. He was like, we could find it. It's easy. It's accessible. Like, you got to cut off that type of access to those type of weapons.
That's crazy.
You got to cut off the desire to have a weapon and use it. But even if you do have...
Say that
So
again. I like that. say that you gotta have a desire.
You gotta cut off the desire
to want to have a gun.
Yeah. To put yourself in a violent situation. Like why
wanted a gun when I was growing up, just be fucking because I wanted a gun because I saw other people. Yeah. Where I'm from, have a gun. I didn't have a desire to shoot nobody, take nothing from nobody.
You just thought it's part of the uniform.
But I knew that, right?
It's part of the uniform.
Yeah.
Like if I'm gonna be in these streets,
if
I'm gonna be in these streets, I need a couple dollars. I need whatever I'm selling or doing in the streets, and I need a gun.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest, man. I'm one of those guys that was in the streets, man. And when I really didn't have to have a firearm, and I was in the streets.
Most of us didn't.
But I did it because I had a desire for it. Now, most definitely, I'll follow you right there.
Now, so the first time I saw a gun, fifth grade, may have been fourth grade.
I was say, nigga, I thought you was like 25. I was like, man, come on.
Nah, fifth, fourth grade, we getting off the bus. Guy, I ain't gonna name his name.
Please. Shit. What was that?
We gonna have it over there.
I mean, statute of limitations done and over with. But I still run to him in the grocery store. I ain't gonna say his name.
All right,
he got beat up on the bus. He was mad.
Shit.
He got off the bus. He walked to his house. He came back and had it on him.
Yeah.
He went and got it from his parents' drawer, whatever he got it from. Came back. He was ready to shoot. We was like, man, you can't shoot him because he beat you up, man. You just lost a fight, man. Like, you can't go and shoot the man. Like, we on the bus stop together every day. And you mad because
You just
he beat
got
you
your ass
up,
whooped.
man.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, all right.
You know, and so, but
we get mad.
Again,
I'm getting mad.
He got beat up. So the third thing is we got to teach people how to resolve conflict. Like, conflict is inevitable.
Yeah.
People going to disagree. And
Absolutely.
things are going to escalate for people. But how do you really resolve conflict in a way that is not violent?
Because we the ones who turn. I feel like my race, man. My race will turn something up quickly. And it's no de-escalating nothing. If I'm in the club and I said knock your drink down, I can say, hey man, my bad, homie, I apologize. And they'll take that and now I'm a hoe because I'm apologizing. Or now he finna try to bully me out of the drink. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, the Low is right. We're horrible at conflict
Yeah,
resolution.
way horrible at that.
I'm big on that. I always say that. That's one thing I try to teach my kids is how do you deal with conflict? You don't always have to go to violence. The smart man a lot of times is the man that can walk away. I'm here today because, hey, honestly, bro, I walked out of some rooms and was just like, fuck it. I walked away from situations where the next man would have been like, man, the next man might say, man, you was a hoe in that moment. But shit, I'm a hoe that's alive.
Yeah,
I said, man, I got to be smart about it.
Even take the guy on guy out of it. Let's talk domestic situations. A lot of gun violence is from a domestic violence situation. We don't know how to deal with conflict between men and women.
No, we don't. We don't.
Argue, cuss each other out, speak over each other. Mm-hmm. And at the end of the day, probably don't ever resolve it. Probably let it fly.
Until the
so
next
we could go back to some system normalcy, and then we bring up all the old stuff when the new
You're
stuff
right.
come up.
Stop doing that, ladies. And stop doing that,
man.
Men
Too. I ain't.
Both of them stop doing it. But this is what we like to do right here, man. We like to have these type of conversations. Very helpful. The things that we got to talk about today, man, was a great journey, right, for you. A lot of people that come here most definitely hold your name high. My brother right here, see, this been my brother for the last 23 years, and he most definitely has talked about you a lot, right? He brought me to this platform, so I'm happy. But I always says big things about you, and that's what we do, man. Cashville.
I like to sit down with my brother, and again, Lo, we gonna just kind of ran out of time today. We're gonna have to definitely do this again, though.
I got
brother.
one more story. Wrap up.
Absolutely,
Real quick. I'm gonna make this one quick because I told you I was gonna come back to this.
Most definitely.
And after you tell the story, let people know. That's why I ain't gotta ask no more questions. Just let people know what's next for you, and how can they support you and follow everything you got going. But go ahead, brother.
Got you. So, we were talking about bad decisions, right? And we were talking about how I can't remember what I said. It said you could be in a situation. Oh, well, we'll talk how you could be good at bad decisions, bad things, right?
Yeah.
So I was faced with a situation in college. I was I can't remember if I was a freshman or sophomore. I think I was a freshman because the roommate at the time, we were freshmen. It's the person I'm thinking about. So, man, when I was in high school, I told you I was a Sigma. I played Sigma when I was a freshman in high school.
Okay.
So, and we pledged under all seniors, and there was one in particular that was like, man, he SJ president, he the cool guy, football team, girlfriend fine, like he got it going on. Like guy you look up to. He fresh polo, fresh Nautica, Hilfiger shirts, he fresh shoes. Like I'm like, all right, that's the dude. That's the bar right there. That's the blueprint. We trying to be like him. So I'm a freshman in college, and he come in my dorm room and bring a duffel bag, elbow in it. And he's like, man, look, you know a lot of people on campus. You from here. You know the community. You know the area around the college. It's like, I think y'all can move this and do nice for yourself.
Damn. Oh shit.
You know. And so he
the roommate.
Nah, this the senior.
The senior,
he's like 4
who
years
y'all
older than us.
pledging up on,
Yeah, this the guy we look up to. He come in, he's like, man, I got this opportunity for y'all. And so he's like, man, no pressure. You ain't gotta give me an answer now. I'm gonna just leave it here. You think about it.
Yeah.
And just left the duffel bag in our dorm room. And man, we sat there, and you talk about like just knowing like whatever you do, you could try to be successful at. Like I was like, man, we could really do this. Like,
Yeah, most definitely.
I mean,
You
I was
thinking all the
young and impressed.
resources
I'm
you
like,
got,
man,
yeah.
I'm already mapping it out. I'm like,
Yeah,
man,
yeah,
look, this
yeah.
could be the spot on campus, and this how we can move certain stuff in the dorms, and I'm thinking of different people we could get in different dorms. I'm trying to network this thing on
Hell
out.
yeah, you put
Like,
your proposal together.
and so me and my roommate, like, we sat there with it for at least 5 days. Like, we come in the dorm after class every day. We sit there, man, we ain't having meetings, but we basically having meetings like, man, should we do this? Like, we going back and forth. Man, we both got cars. So like, man, I need some new speakers in my car.
Yeah.
I like to have some rims on it.
Start
Like,
spending that money for you make it.
man, dudes from Memphis, like Memphis dudes, they plenty of tissue, right? So it's dudes from Memphis. They fresh. They got their little, they robbing the train for the new Jordans and everything.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
like, man, we be fresh like the Memphis dudes, man. We up in here putting on for the city.
Yeah.
And so I was like, man, if I'm gonna be a drug dealer, I could be a really good drug dealer.
Yeah.
But I also was like, man, I came to college for a reason. Like, I also have other options. And I don't know that I was really old enough or mature enough to really weigh the decision how I really should have in a responsible manner.
Yeah.
I just knew that had I sold those drugs, it was a totally different path, and I was probably gonna end up leaving school, and school wasn't gonna be a part of my future. Like,
Yeah.
that was basically
That's exactly
that
what
was the
would've
thing in my
happened,
head. I was like, man, if I chose this path, like, this is out the door.
No, it's a fact.
No, and so ultimately we end up calling and be like, man, come get your bag, man. We ain't gonna sell it. But
Nah, you did
in my
the right
head,
thing,
man, I was gonna. I
don't know.
I know it's right. Nah, I do.
That was
I
right.
do. I
That was
mean,
most definitely right.
but in my head, man, I was like, shoot, if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna be good at it. Like, I'm not gonna be a half-ass drug dealer.
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna go out and give it my all and try to, really learn this thing and be really good at it. So, man, I guess the lesson there really is, regardless of the path that you on, man, the distractions that might come your way, and how attractive they may look, you really have to use some type of discernment. And to Boopie's question about, how can you address some of the violence and gun violence specifically, like, teaching young people how to have discernment. Like that's a difficult thing to do, but it's worth it. Like
Nah, it is. I feel
to
like
be
I
able
was good
to be
at
able to
that.
have
Yeah.
two choices and really be thoughtful about the pros
Absolutely.
and cons of
both of them. Yeah.
Yeah, and to go through that process because a lot of people make decisions off
Rash,
impulse.
Absolutely.
That's
And
me.
Emotional
Yeah.
decisions. Why you
Somebody
emotional?
when I was in the street, somebody robbed me. I went back and I did something,
Yeah,
and I did it impulsively. You know what I'm saying? I knew my other option. I didn't want to hear my other option.
yeah,
It's just this one. I got two options though,
yeah,
but I'm going with my first option.
Yeah.
Is that the trauma?
yeah.
Look, man, y'all already know what it is, man. Look, we got it locked in. We had, man, this powerful, right?
Great
Tell
combo.
everybody, man, great combo, dope conversations. That's what I like to say, dope conversations. Tell everybody, man, where we can find you at.
So you can find me on social media. What is my handle now? I changed it.
What, Low?
Nah, it's
Northside Low?
yeah, that's why I should change it too. Northside Low. Nah, it's at is it Low the Podcaster? I think I'm
It
Low the
might be. Let me
Podcaster.
go. Let me see.
So you change your handles? I don't never change
Nah,
my
I
handles,
changed it.
man.
I did change it like twice during the pandemic.
Damn. Bro, I've been having social media so long. I never changed. Once it was Born Rich Club. I don't have a personal account though. Like I don't have everything I got is just business. I don't really get to post nothing.
That ain't it.
Nah, he done went to a post. Look, he done went to something. But this is what we do, man. So why y'all?
So
find-
you could find me at the Juvenile Court Clerk's office. My number is 615-862-7996 if you want to reach me there. My personal cell number is 615-573-7701. People can reach out to me anytime you need something. If I'm not the person that could help you, I'm going to try to connect you with somebody that can help you.
There you go.
Nah, I'm low for literacy. That's what it is.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. At Low for Literacy. LOFORLITERACY. If you're going to have literacy in your name, be able to spell it.
Out the top, but you just spelled
That's
it
it.
good though. But like I said, man, y'all already know, man. I got two things, man. Look, get money, stay true, get money.
And listen to me, family. If nobody told you today that they love you, let me be the first one to tell you that I love you. I love you. I love you, family. We out, y'all. Peace.